Tell us a bit about yourself. What year are you in?
Year 7, drumming, homeschooled, and...
What it's been like to get treatments his whole life. Cut a long story short, he's been getting treatments ongoingly for his whole life. Get him to let us know what he kind of likes about them and how he's felt about getting treatments his whole life.
I love those. They make me so relaxed for ages. It makes me feel really I just had a full night's sleep, I guess. Thanks, Dad.
You're welcome. You are? You want Bowen? Okay, come over.
And I have a bullet.
So this little man wants a Bowen. Deep breath, buddy. Good boy. Hey guys, in this video what we're going to do is do a bit of an interview with my son Sasha. Sasha, tell us a bit about yourself.
I'm 12 and what do you want me to say?
Anything? What year are you in?
Year 7.
And what else do you do? Homeschool.
Drumming, homeschooled, and
That's cool, that's good enough.
yeah.
And so I wanted to do a treatment on Sasha today, and I'm going to allow him later to tell me what he feels like getting, as opposed to saying this is what this is going to be. But I wanted to talk to Sasha with you guys so you can get some of his experience of what it's been like to get treatments his whole life. He's been getting it since he was in the womb, and then also he got his first official treatment out of the womb about 10 minutes after he was born. Not even, maybe minutes after he was born. He had a big head and we had to suck him out, and you know, for most of you who are watching this video probably experienced that, or may have experienced that, or at least have experienced childbirth. His head got stretched, and it's really incredible what actually happens if you haven't had that kind of childbirth. It's amazing how malleable the whole head is, and the head gets stretched as it gets pushed out regardless, but this suction cup, the suction just creates a big ring in the head, and it's actually quite freaky to look at it. Anyway, Sasha came out like that, and I gave him did a little TMJ procedure straight up. And it was incredible how much he wiggled his whole newborn face. I just felt that it was important to address his jaw after getting squished out of that, the birth canal, and yeah, his face. Out of all 6 of them, he had the kind of strongest reaction because his birth was probably the hardest of all of them. And so yeah, I did that move, and anyway, cut a long story short, he's been getting treatments ongoingly for his whole life, and so I just wanted to get it from his mouth, get him to let us know what he kind of likes about them and how he's felt about getting treatments his whole life, because I find it really valuable for families and for kids, because my perspective of them compared to a lot of other kids most other kids is very different. They're not in front of a screen a lot. They're not driven to get in front of a screen that much. Even my 15-year-old, they don't have phones yet. They have to do school on a laptop, but they're not driven with this dopamine thing, but from phones and digital devices. They are really good at being calm and you know, Sasha can lie on my table or lie down anytime I give him a treatment, whether it's in the living room or on the sofa. Very good at being calm and just peaceful by himself. So anyway, I don't want to put too much of my input into this. So yeah, what out of all the treatments that you've had, which one do you like the most? What's your favourite?
You mean what kind of treatment?
Yeah, what kind of treatment's your favourite? Makes you feel the best?
I think cupping, really, usually.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
How come?
Well, just because it relaxes me a lot and stuff. And I also like when you do the needles.
Oh really?
Because it loosens my muscles like a lot.
Okay.
And yeah, gets rid of a lot of tension, I guess.
And so cupping makes you feel good, yeah? In what way?
I don't know how to explain it really, but it's like refreshed, I guess.
Okay, yeah, a lot of people say that. A lot of people say they feel lighter.
Yeah.
Lighter and refreshed. It's incredible what cupping can do, and detoxing. So, okay, what about massage and bone therapy? How do you feel about those two?
I love those. They make me like so relaxed for like ages.
And which one do you prefer?
I don't really have a favourite out of them. They're both really good.
Okay, that's cool. So that's, you know, the relevance of that for me is that bone therapy is very soft, very minimal, very subtle. It's you don't feel discomfort, you don't. Sometimes there might be active trigger points and tender areas where you do a lot of these moves, but it's not nothing like a massage. In a massage, there's often quite a lot of discomfort, or you know, if you're doing a deep tissue massage, and the kind of massages I do are more focused on getting emotional stuff moved and really focusing on unraveling all the tension in the body. And typically we're very tense and very tight, even kids, maybe even kids more so than adults sometimes. But so what that says to me is that he can really appreciate his body's response to these different therapies, even as subtle as they are. And I say that because a lot of people who get Bowen technique or Bowen therapy the first couple of times, especially guys, because it's so subtle, they don't value it because it's not the same thing, like no pain, no gain mentality, where you know, to feel that there's any benefit, it has to feel like a bit uncomfortable or this pleasure pain kind of thing, where with Bowen technique, a lot of these moves are just so soft you don't actually, a lot of people might not perceive the benefits or not have the perception to even perceive their body changing and adjusting to these moves. So it really says a lot, and I can talk about it, you know, to share it with you guys that, you know, this Bowen technique is subtle versus a massage, and so it really is quite awesome for me as a dad to be able to hear that, because I've been teaching this for 15 years, Bowen technique, and a lot of people, especially men, women aren't. Women are more in tune with their bodies, I find. Sorry guys, typically, and so they can really appreciate laying there with their bodies, with their breath, with these subtle moves. I couldn't do it when I was a kid because I didn't grow up with this stuff. When my mum first exposed me to Bowen technique, I was about 16. Passionate, you know, surfing, grew up surfing, always kind of like just always had to be doing something. And so for me, when I first got exposed to laying down and my mum doing a couple of moves and me just laying and responding and being calm and quiet by myself, it just blew my mind and frustrated me to tears because I couldn't lie there. And you know, Sasha's so young, he's only 12, and he can lay here comfortably easily lay here on my table for an hour, just relaxing and calm and quiet. And so these are the sort of things that I want to share with people, and especially today in today's age of technology, fast-paced lifestyle, go, 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 never a dull moment, always feel like we need to be doing something. And if you get in young, you don't have to do anything except for give them a treatment every now and then, and it can really change the way they progress and where they grow up, and where they relate to their bodies. And is there anything else that you think that you'd like to say, Sash, about it, that you liked about it, that it's helped you with, that how it makes you feel? What does it do? How does it make you feel when you get treatments?
It just makes me feel like really, like I just had like a full night's sleep, I guess.
Okay.
And then when I, get off the table, I feel all like awake and everything.
Ah, cool.
Yeah.
That's nice. Do you feel calm ever, or grounded, or like anything like that ever happen?
Yeah, actually, a lot. I feel like really relaxed when I get up as well.
Okay, cool. And what about with injuries? You haven't had that many injuries, except sometimes when you've had sore shoulders from helping out in the garden, and we've done treatments. Do you remember those times? Like with neck pain and back pain, you've probably forgotten how many times it's helped like that, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Anyway, guys, I think that kind of covers it. That kind of gives you a bit of a, quick overview of Sasha's perception and how much I value this, and hopefully, this might encourage you guys to try some body work on your kids on a regular basis to see how it can change them without words. They don't have to try and talk to them and make them mindful and talk to them through their emotional stuff and tell them to calm down or try to do all these thoughtful, mindful activities. You can just get them on the table, give them a 5 or 10 minute treatment even, and you'll see what will happen from that. So, what sort of a treatment do you feel like today?
Just like a Bowen treatment, whatever you do,
Okay, cool. Alright, well,
Yeah, cool.
that's kind of perfect. I'll do a Bowen treatment on Sash. Again, this will relate to the free training that I've given away for everybody. You can base some of the stuff I'm doing here on that free training. That'll help you understand what I'm doing. I'm not going to talk about every move I do and go through it. I'm just going to treat him now. And then, you guys can get into that free training, watch that, and then you might be able to apply some of the different moves that I do in this sequence, or how I treat him today versus what's taught in that course, just adapt it and it'll make more sense. Cool, guys. Thanks, mate. And let's get treating. Okay. Okay, mate. Give me a bunch of deep breaths. Anything sore lately?
Not really. Some kind of my upper back and shoulder area a little bit.
Okay, deep breath. So, one thing I might sort of say throughout this treatment is that a lot of people out in the world today who have been trained in Bowen technique use this thing called a wait time. I like to call it a response time, where you basically stop after each move or procedure and allow the body to respond or respond or adjust to those particular moves. That's based on the observation of the man, Tom Bowen, who was working with this particular technique. And he used to have 5 rooms going, and people would go from room to room. Tom would go from room to room, do one of these moves that I've done now, and then let the body respond and come back and see how the person's adjusted. So you could easily do a couple of moves and that's it. What I've just done now is often what I'll do, and this will put them to sleep. This will put my kids to sleep. This will put me to sleep sometimes, and I'm a terrible sleeper. For me it's quite difficult to get to sleep, and if I get just one of these 2 moves here, most of the time within 10 minutes I'm asleep. With my kids the same thing happens, so don't feel like you need to be able to do a whole treatment. And even in this free training, just use a couple of these moves. You might just do the feet, might do the lower back and the feet, and then leave that for a while, and you watch. They're going to get grounded, they're going to get calm. It's incredible how much this will sedate someone just with 1 or 2 moves. However, you don't need to just do that, because some people, like I said, aren't comfortable just laying here. Mind's active, they want to get up. It's quite agitating for the majority of people, I would say, in my experience. Of course, you can talk about it and make it so they value this opportunity, and that's what I'm like. I really get people to value this opportunity of being connected to your body and your breath and allowing your body to respond. That's a whole nother way, another part of this sort of training. But just know that you could just do 1 or 2 of these moves. If someone's hurt their feet, you could just do the feet. If they've got tight, sore ankles, just do this sort of stuff on the ankle. For the upper back, you might just do these moves that you'll see in the free training. So if this free training, for access to the free training, just DM me, log in, and we'll get you the login details as soon as possible. Give us 24 hours or so to get back to you. Or you could scroll around, and there might be some other posts with instructions how to get access. But the easiest way is just to send me a message and we'll get back to you. So you can see when I start treating, I slow down and I try to get into that zone. I try to just feel heavy and relaxed and calm, and I feel my feet. I try and bring my breath into my belly. You can hear that I'm slowing down and maybe mumbling, so excuse me for that, but it happens organically, and I try to go into that vibe because it is more relaxing, just out of just some interesting scientific facts. Cortisol, if we have high levels of cortisol, or even just cortisol itself, it seeps out of our skin. So the higher the cortisol in our bloodstream, the more cortisol comes out of our skin, and then the people around us absorb that cortisol, and then it affects them and makes them, whether it's anxious or more hyper, So yeah, it's incredible how much our body will affect someone else. So a big part of it for me in the way that I train people is to calm yourself as well, ground yourself. Even you being more calm and grounded and breathing will affect people. So, yeah, well, I might work the feet for all sorts of reasons, whether it's to sedate someone, ground someone. The feet are the most distant part of the body from the head, so it's really effective at draining energy out of the head and emptying someone's mind by bringing them down into their feet. And so I might do it for that reason. I might do it because someone's feet may be imbalanced in all sorts of ways, whether it's tight muscles, range of movement in all the joints is not as it should be. And so it might be to address the feet, so the feet are behaving, moving properly, to alleviate tension up the hammies or lower back, for example. I might just do the feet purely because there's feet issues and people are complaining about their feet. So yeah, I just want to say this to kind of, if you guys aren't sort of, haven't been exposed to body work or manual therapies from a very kind of holistic or comprehensive viewpoint, then most people might be just in the thought that I'll do the feet when there's sore feet, and then I'll do the legs when they've got sore legs. But the feet can be responsible for all kinds of issues further up the body, whether it's neck pain and shoulder pain or jaw imbalance. It can all stem from the feet, and so that's how I like to think. So another thing, while the feet are now responding, the brain is communicating, tissues are going to respond, whether they activate, reactivate and reawaken, whether some relax and reset their pattern of whether the pattern was holding tight or whether the pattern was being disengaged and had no nerve impulses to activate muscles properly. These moves can kind of reset that area of the body so that it either switches on or switches off, versus just only thinking about relaxing tissue and releasing tissue. So here I'm just doing the upper traps. I did the rhomboids. And now I'm going to do this move, which is going all the way down the whole spinal column, along every vertebra. There's tiny little muscles that are situated all around the vertebra, and this can increase range of movement of the head, can release stiffness all the way from turning the head all the way down to the lower back and hips. Here's the sacrum. Often here's where you'll have active trigger points. So here you can see that Seisha's having a hard time letting his body go because it's so tender. And so now I'm going to let that respond a couple of minutes. And yeah, when I tune in and I'm really focused on the person who I'm treating's breath, that's when I'm working the most naturally. And I'll tune in and just stop organically and just have a very strong feeling that now I need to allow the body to respond a bit. So be comfortable starting to do that throughout the free training. Really get in touch, really trying to be so in tune with this person on your table that you can feel every breath, you're watching every breath. You can hear their breath. You know, sometimes you watch their heartbeat. You'll see their whole body shaking a little bit. Or they'll start to do that more. Their breath will change. They'll be breathing deeper and more regularly. And their heart will start beating stronger, or at least you'll see their body loosening up. And often you see someone's whole body kind of pulsing from their heartbeat. So get that in tune. Watch everything change, observe everything, you know, have a really good picture in your head, really feel everything you're doing, feel the change that happens from doing these treatments. I'm doing RT bands. These can be helpful for alleviating back pain or releasing tension up in the shoulders, because you've got this big line of fascia of all these muscle connections that run all the way up the body. You've got an energy channel called the gallbladder meridian that runs all the way up here. So this is a very emotional part of the body, where our body dumps emotional stuff, holds onto our emotional stresses and traumas, and so working the side of the legs is a really good way to release emotional trauma and pent up stress. So yeah, as opposed to just thinking physiologically, I'm in a whole bunch of different mindsets about why I'm doing why I'm doing these procedures at different times, and you know, different. The next time I do that on Seisha, it might be to address his tight back. Then another time I might do this line with the intent that I'm really trying to release some tension and trauma, emotional tension and emotional trauma. And in the free training, this is where the last move in that training, called closing the back, you can take that all the way up over the scalp. This thing called the superficial back line, and also the gallbladder meridian, the urinary bladder meridian. They start at the top of the eyebrows and then run all the way down the feet. So I might do this to also release tension further down the back in certain situations, but instead of just thinking about doing these moves as demonstrated in free training, you can do this move anywhere. So do it up in the head. It feels really nice. It's an incredible way to release tension in the scalp and also sedate someone. We're so up in our heads, we've got so much energy and focus in our head all the time that doing some simple moves in the head like that can just dissipate a lot of tension and really ground someone quite quickly. Alright mate, roll over for us, please. Come up just a little bit. Just a little bit towards there. Yeah, that's good. Here I'm addressing the neck, a certain part of the neck, for lymphatic drainage, moving the lymph and draining mucus, and also addressing tension and shortness in the muscles along the front of the neck, which can take a lot of pressure off the back of the neck and the shoulders. Addressing the jaw is very important to me. It's a whole can of worms. I could talk about all of these areas of the body, but this is more just to show you guys how nice and calming and relaxing a treatment like this can be.
Oh, it's tight.
Tight, that tight. Wow. So the belly is, in my perspective, the most important part of the body for me to work throughout in a treatment, regardless of what someone presents with, unless of course they've got some injuries or surgeries or a reason that I should really keep away from it, but that doesn't happen often at all. This is where we store most of our emotional stuff. It goes to here. Which side was worse? Left or right?
Tickles.
Tickles?
Yeah.
Deep breath. Good. Deep breath. Good, good, good. Another one? Dive into it, just let it go. Good. So there I went a bit deeper. Quite uncomfortable. But yeah, so we hold heaps of, our body dumps a lot of emotional stuff down here. And so to me it's a very important area to make people aware of and to show them how to let go and to work together on letting it go. Good. So I'll let that respond a little bit. So there his stomach was rumbling a little bit. Often when you hear a bit of a squirting sound in the stomach, it sounds like a bit of a release or some gurgling. It's often when the parasympathetic nervous system kicks in. And if you don't know what that is, it's when we come out of fight or flight and start to relax and unwind. So yeah, parasympathetic nervous system state is when we're not in fight or flight and when you're really relaxed and calm. And most of us aren't in this state hardly ever. Especially these days, it's almost impossible to reach it when we're in front of phones and devices and exposed to blue light and watching TV. It's very rare these days, I'm finding, for people to be in a parasympathetic nervous state, and it seems like it's harder and harder for me to switch people into it because of how highly strung we are with the blue light from technology. So get out in the sun to combat that. You might struggle to get off your phones or get your kids off your phones or get them off computers or computer games. Start with encouraging them to get into the sun and get their eyes into the sun, because that will give their body dopamine and will actually start balancing out the body, making the changes without having to force them to get off their screens. Chuck them in the sun at the right time of day, and yeah, the sun will change the messages and basically can change the whole chemistry of the body. So you can see how Sasha takes a breath straight away when it's ticklish or uncomfortable, and that's something that might take a while for someone to do, but be mindful of that if you're doing this and your kids are ticklish. He's very ticklish, and the way I'm doing this is very much with that understanding and awareness, but he's good at breathing into it. And then what I'd like you guys also to do, if you experience kids being ticklish in an area, do these moves and then go back and see how they are afterwards. See how much that area has changed. Because typically under ticklish areas, it's a lot of tension and tightness. So good. So you can see that's how good he is. The first thing you want to get anyone you treat, the first thing you want to get them to do is take a deep breath. When it's ticklish, when it's sore, when it's tender, take a deep breath and then breathe into it with as much relaxation and letting go of your whole body, not just that tender or sore or ticklish area. Just let your body fall apart even more. So he's good at that. He knows that. How's that feel?
Good.
Better? Different?
Mm-hmm.
That just brings a lot of awareness to letting your hands completely go when you flick the fingers like this. TMJ, hyoid bone, release the throat, release the whole face. Jaw is one of the most crucial junctions of the body according to a lot of specialists that say if you can't get the jaw balanced, you can't get the hips balanced and aligned, because the jaw is the most important junction of the body, because that's how we sustain our body. So the body aligns itself and compensates to keep the jaw parallel to the ground. So that's some medical theories out there, or medical studies. Okay, leave that there. Nice deep breath. Do one more move. And let him respond. I hope I didn't lose you guys with my mumbling and my monotone, calm kind of, communication through this video. And yeah, if you have any questions, or experienced any cool stuff happening to your family or your friends or the people you've treated with this stuff, I'd love to hear it. That's what I get off on the most. That's why I do this, to make people feel better in their bodies. So please let me know if you have any awesome results, or you want to have any questions on what sort of treatment I might do for someone with a certain condition or something. Cool guys, I'm going to let him respond, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Let's catch you later. Bye. Again, just want to point out, you might just do 2 moves. That might be all you need to do. I've done that heaps of times with ailments or injuries, but also for calming down and grounding and relaxing. Getting rid of anxiety. If a kid's having an anxiety attack, you can do some of this moves in the abdomen and quickly just enable them to take a nice deep breath and ground them. It's amazing. So yeah, just wanted to point that out again. I'm going to let him lay here a bit longer. Cool, mate. How you feeling?
Relax.
No, you don't have to get up. You can stay here if you want, but you can get up now if you want to.
Thanks, Dad.
You're welcome.
Lipstick.
No, you can't have lipstick.
Why?
Because you're too little. It's
Can
not.
I just have lip balm?
No, you don't need to. You can have some pawpaw ointment or something.
Yeah, I already gave her pawpaw.
Yeah, pawpaw's lip balm. Pawpaw ointment's lip balm. That's all you need, darling. Hey, Samba, let him relax. He's just had a Bowen treatment. You what? You want Bowen? Okay, come over. You have to ask Sash.
Thanks. And I have a ball.
Okay, come on. Gonna chuck him up here, sir? So this little man wants a Bowen. Sorry, his big brother having one, so he wants one too. Deep breath, buddy. Deep breath. Deep breath, mate. Good boy. This little guy's always asking me for a Bowen treatment. My client, okay, this is where I work and see clients.
Can I have coping?
You want cupping? I don't have time, mate. I've got someone coming soon, so we'll just do Bowen today, okay? That's all. Sasha got Bowen. We'll do cupping another time. How's that sound? So they all love cupping.
Can the client of coping?
Maybe the client will get cupping, yeah. I'm going to put your head down and we'll finish soon.
Yeah.
Bye.
Can they come in here?
Sasha just went back. He's finished, mate. He's done. He's gone outside into the sun. And he's only 2.5. And he loves it. He loves doing this. Not just when his siblings get it.
Blank.
You want your blankie, huh?
Yes.
Okay, let's get you on your back then, boy. Bit of neck. Didn't you have a sleep? Why didn't you sleep? Because why? You're going to have a sleep now, okay? Otherwise you're going to be all grumpy tonight. Okay? We'll do this and then put you to bed. Okay?
I want to my breath.
Deep breath. Goodbye. Just lay here.
Can I finish my breath?
No, after your nap. Just finish here, just relax for a while. Just respond to that, okay? I'll let you know. Don't get up yet, just lay there for a bit. Oh, someone's doing some work. I often do energetic body work in between the wait times, or even just energetic body work alone as a treatment. These guys love it. Calms them down, makes them feel comfortable, makes them feel nurtured, makes them feel safe. So nice. Okay. Finish? You ready to go to bed now? Yeah?
Finish my breath with Lolita.
Okay, you go finish your bread with Lolita, okay? Here, take it there, Kisamba. Boy. See you in the next one, guys.